Welcome to the Holistically Humble podcast. I'm your host, Katie, a registered holistic nutritionist, a yoga teacher, and a wellness enthusiast passionate about helping you thrive. This podcast is your space to explore holistic health, nervous system regulation, mindful living, and all the tools that empower you to create a balance in your body, mind, and soul. Whether you're here to deepen your wellness journey, find inspiration, or discover practical tips to live a healthier, more intentional life, you are in the right place. My mission is to simplify wellness, spark meaningful conversations, and help you reconnect with your authentic self. Let's dive in and create a life that feels as good as it looks. Welcome to the Holistically Humble community. Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the podcast, or welcome if you are new here for the first time. It's so lovely to have you, regardless if you are returning or this is your first episode you're ever listening to. Happy 2025, my friend. Wow, 2025 sounds pretty cool, right? Would you like to reaffirm with me that 2025 is an amazing year? Say it with me. 2025 is an amazing year. In last week's episode, did my first ever recorded video option, and I put it on my YouTube channel, as well as it was, to my surprise and knowledge, it does the video option on Spotify as well. So that's pretty cool. But if you aren't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go check it out and obviously subscribe. That means a lot to me. And like the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. All of this helps the algorithm and helps my podcast and information get out into the world even more. More reach equals more people learning about health and wellness and how to better their body, mind, and soul. And that is just my jam, my friend. So how's it going? How is January going for you? I know that in last week's episode, I talked about the 2025 ins and outs wellness girly edition. And I did talk about how I am not a believer in setting like New Year's resolutions in the dead of winter, because truthfully, we hit winter where I live, where I'm recording this podcast, which is Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. We hit it on December 21st. And winter really means to slow down and go inwards and rest and hibernate. And yeah, just that. And so when you are starting, quote unquote, a new year and putting a lot of pressure on yourself to do all of these new things, especially in the health and wellness realm, it's kind of like you're going to set yourself up for success. And I'm so sorry if you're someone who loves setting New Year's resolutions and you're amazing at it, like high five, go you. Super proud of you. Keep it up. But for the most part, it is kind of setting you up for failure, because you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself to change all of a sudden, especially after all of the holiday festivities and maybe overindulging in things, to all of a sudden saying, I'm going on this diet and I'm doing 75 hard and I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. And I'm like, honestly, the list goes on. I'm cutting out sugar, right? It's such a drastic change, and setting goals and intentions are amazing and can be extremely beneficial. But yeah, January 1st is like winter. It's slowing down, it's resting, and you can set goals and intentions and things that you want to do, but not put a lot of pressure on yourself. Okay. So with that being said, talking about not putting a lot of pressure on yourself, I am actually going to talk about gut health today, because after the holidays and maybe the overindulging and festivities and whatever else may have happened, you need to focus on your gut health. And it's not just you, it's me too, it's everyone. And it's something that honestly we should pay attention to on the regular, on the daily. But if not, at least once a quarter. Okay, we're going to tap into our gut health and see how it's going. So this episode today is dedicated to gut health. And we're diving into the topic that has been getting a lot of attention in the wellness world, the connection between gut health and well-being, your mental health. I'm going to break down why your gut is often called your second brain. You may or may not have heard that before. and explore some simple, actionable steps that you can take to support both your gut and your mind. So if this sounds like something you need or something you're interested in, let's go. Let's dive into it. I first want to start by saying if you are interested in this topic without even hearing this whole podcast episode, I want to let you know that I've created the ultimate guide to your optimal gut health. Regularly $19.99, just launching it for the first 7 days. It'll be 50% off, so you'll get it for $9.99. It's yours to keep. It's a comprehensive guide. There's assessment tools, tracking tools, loads of information in there on this topic. Yours for 50% off for the first 7 days. So it started on January 6th if you're listening to this episode, which is a Monday. And if you're listening to this episode when it drops on the first day, it is Wednesday, January 8th. So you still have like 4 days or so to get in on that 50% off discount. And then it goes to $19.99. So still $20 to learn all about your gut and set yourself up for success. So I thought I would just start with that. Let's talk about how there's this thing called your gut-brain axis. Your gut-brain axis is like this two-way communication between your gut and your brain. An ongoing conversation happening 24/7, and it's through things such as your vagus nerve. You may or may not have heard of the vagus nerve before, but the 24/7 communication is happening between your vagus nerve, hormones, and neurotransmitters. If you didn't already know this, now you do. Your gut produces 90% of your serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that plays a key vital role in your mood regulation. So what does this mean? This means that what happens in your gut doesn't just stay in your gut. It directly affects how you feel mentally and emotionally. I'm not going to dive extremely deep into these topics. These are like touch the surface level information on your gut health, which in turn affects your mental health. So diving into the next like informative piece of this conversation is the fact that our gut is filled with bacteria, fungi, yeast, all of this. We are more bacteria than we are human cells. I said this, I think, honestly, in my last podcast episode too, but it's so profound. For every 10 bacteria cells, for every 10 bacteria, we have one human cell, and we have many, many, many human cells. Okay. So you can 10 times that on how much bacteria we have in and on our body. Okay. This can be known in our gut as the microbiome. So home to honestly trillions of microorganisms. Might freak you out, but that's okay. We're going to get over that eventually and start to learn that there are good guys and bad guys. If they are functioning optimally, it's called symbiosis, and it means that they are in an intricate balance and flowing and working together. If they are out of balance, meaning the bad guys, meaning the bad bacteria, fungi, yeast are taking over in your gut and your body, this is known as dysbiosis in your gut. And that is where bad guys are winning, and we need good guys to come back up and increase and, put those bad guys in place. So when we are in that healthy state of having a healthy microbiome, it's symbiotic, it's symbiosis. That is when your gut will have better communication with your brain. And when it's in dysbiosis, meaning not in balance, this is when potentially your gut will lead to mental health challenges or imbalances. This could be things like anxiety, depression, brain fog, etc. So, what does signs of an imbalanced gut look like? So physical signs of an imbalanced gut can be things like bloating, diarrhea, constipation. So anything that's like a digestive discomfort are very, very good signs that your gut is out of balance. So this one is kind of interesting, where mental health symptoms can often be traced back to having an imbalanced gut. And these can be things such as anxiety, brain fog, depression, difficulty concentrating, low energy, poor sleep, and honestly, the list goes on. For your skin and your immune system health, If you are experiencing an imbalanced gut, you may also be experiencing recurrent skin issues like acne or eczema. It might be that you're actually getting sick frequently. So these things can absolutely point to an imbalanced gut. So with that being said, what can you do to support your gut? Let's get into it. The first thing that I would focus on or let you know to focus on would be to prioritize whole, nutrient dense food. So if you are new to this world, don't worry. There is no such thing as stupid questions or silly questions. So if you do have questions, you're watching this video on YouTube, drop them in the comments. If you are watching on Spotify, let me know by leaving a comment. Otherwise, you can direct message me on Instagram and I will link my social media down below in the show notes. Of course, make sure you're following me on all of those as well. I had a client that asked me when I said to eat whole foods, well, what is a whole food, Katie? And the best way that I can describe this is any food item that has no ingredient list, okay? And what I mean by this is that if you go to the grocery store and you're in the produce section and you're looking at potatoes and you pick up a potato, there's no ingredient list on it because it's just a potato. That's a whole food. Carrot, apple, berries, spinach, chicken breast, beef, steak, fish. You get my drift? Nuts, almonds, cashews, seeds, pumpkin seeds. They don't have ingredient lists. And if you are buying, for example, nuts or seeds and it's has an ingredient list, but it's just telling you that it is the whole food, that counts. Okay. So these are foods that are rich in fiber. So those whole grain, fruits, vegetables, fermented foods such as sauerkraut. I'm freaking loving sauerkraut lately. If you're following me on Instagram, I'm literally posting about it every day. And I'm not going to lie, like my partner, Tori, if he's listening to this, he's going to like be like, oh my God, Katie is freaking obsessed with sauerkraut. Like I got him, I hate going to Costco. Side tangent here. I hate going to Costco. It stresses me the F out. So thank God he goes. And last time he was like, do you want anything from Costco? And I was like, sauerkraut. And I got him to get, I'll list the brand down below in the description of wherever you're watching this. But I think it's called Wild Brine or something like that. And it's organic sauerkraut. And it is my literal favorite. We got it probably like a week ago and it's half gone and it's like a giant tub and I'm just loving it. So I hope you love it as much as me. But if not, I highly recommend having at least 1 tablespoon of a fermented food such as sauerkraut. Kimchi is a different way to get that fermented food in, possibly kefir, but having at least 1 tablespoon of that fermented food item each day, especially with a meal, can be extremely beneficial for improving your gut health. So these whole foods are things that can nourish your gut and drastically improve your gut microbiome and reduce inflammation. The second thing to do to improve your gut health would be to introduce and maintain probiotics and prebiotics. So previously in this episode, I talked about the good guys and bad guys, and we want to now put the name probiotics to the good guys. So probiotics are live bacteria that support your gut health, and then prebiotics are like the food to the good guys. So prebiotics are the food to the probiotics. Together, probiotics and prebiotics are like a duo combo, a dynamite duo combo for your gut and your mental well-being. Number 3, reduce processed foods and sugars. So you know how I said about whole foods are no ingredient list. Processed foods are packaged and have a shit ton of ingredients in them, okay? So what we're going to do is avoid those packaged processed foods, especially avoiding sugar. And let me tell you that if you have a lot of the bad guys in you, the bad bacteria, fungi, and yeast, they thrive off sugar and they will signal to your brain that you need sugar and you want sugar because it's such an addictive substance. I think it's shown, honestly, in people's brain scans to be like as addictive as cocaine. Honestly, like it triggers the same signals in your brain, like go off when you consume sugar as if you were taking a drug. So sugar is a drug, honestly. And like, I am no angel at this. I try to eat better sugar. So I'll try to eat like pure maple syrup or raw honey or something like that if I'm going for something sweet. But definitely no consuming the white refined sugar anymore. Not good. Not good for promoting good gut health and therefore good mental well-being. When you are consuming a lot of packaged processed foods and sugar and refined sugars, you're actually promoting inflammation in your body and can lead to mood swings. We've all experienced that. So what you could do is swap out that processed packaged food and high sugar food for those whole unprocessed foods. So a really great thing to do is if you're craving something sweet, have some fresh berries, some fresh strawberries, some fresh blackberries, blueberries. What other berries are there? Eat those, raspberries. So eat a handful of those and just see if that's something that can curb that. It will take some time, especially if your diet consists of a lot of packaged processed foods and refined sugar to make the transition, but you know that you're doing it for such good cause and that it's going to benefit your gut and therefore your mental health and your overall health at that point. Number 4 would be manage stress. So I'm so into nervous system regulation and allowing your body to be in the parasympathetic state, which is rest, digest, and repair. And sadly, in our world, we're often caught in a chronic state of fight or flight, which is our sympathetic nervous system state. And a way to get out of that chronic state of fight or flight and into our rest and digest and repair phase of our nervous system would be to manage stress. So practicing stress management techniques. I know way earlier on in my wellness journey that I had no coping mechanisms for stress except for smoking weed and like blackout drinking. And then that just in turn is a vicious cycle and nothing good comes from that. So learning how to regulate your nervous system and practice stress management techniques. And it can be just as simple as taking a few long, deep breaths, especially allowing your belly to expand. This is going to allow the vagus nerve to really signal to your brain that like you're safe right now in this moment and to calm the system down, your nervous system down, therefore managing your stress. Being in that state of chronic fight or flight can wreak havoc on your gut health. And so practicing these stress management techniques and mindfulness practices like meditation or yoga. I have lots of meditations and yoga videos on my YouTube channel, so check those out. Deep breathing, like I said, can all calm your nervous system and help you manage stress and therefore help with your gut health. Number 5, something I say all the time. Can you guess what it is? Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Being dehydrated affects your digestion and therefore absolutely affects your gut health. A great place to start is what you typically hear. Try to get 8 glasses of water in a day. I love to suggest to my nutrition clients. By the way, if you want to work one-to-one, I am accepting 3 new nutrition clients as of January. So send me a message and let's see if we can work together and support your gut health and your overall health and well-being. It's like my jam to work with clients one-to-one and also in group programs. So reach out and let's see what we can do with one another. We can produce magic. I recommend that when my clients get up in the morning, to drink at least 250 to 500 milliliters of water. If you add a little bit of red mint salt or Celtic salt into there, it's just better for electrolytes. And then set an alarm, go in your phone, set an alarm to go off every single hour until about 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. Because when the alarm goes off, you freaking stop what you're doing and you drink 250 milliliters of water. It's like that much of water, okay? And then you just drink it, shoot it back. You'll probably end up drinking more, but at that point, all those 250 milliliters plus the one that you drank at the beginning of the day adds up to a couple liters and you're going to be hydrated, okay? Speaking of hydrated, cheers. The sixth thing to do to prioritize your gut health and balance your gut health is prioritize sleep. Quality sleep is so beneficial and important for not only your gut health, but for your mental health as well. The best thing that I can tell you to do for this is to prioritize a consistent sleep schedule. Even if you don't have to be up at the same time every single day, see if you're able to get up at the same time every single day and go to bed at the same time every single day. I know this isn't in the cards for some people, specifically people who work shift work, but if you can, set your alarm to go off the same time every single day and go to bed around the same time every single day so that you're prioritizing that consistent sleep schedule and your body's going to get in a rhythm. And then you'll actually hit that quality sleep anytime you're going to bed. A great place to aim for quality sleep would be to get around 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And number 7 is consider professional guidance. I already kind of plugged myself in here in one of the tips, but seek out a nutritionist, seek out a naturopath, a functional medical practitioner, possibly a gastroenterologist, if I'm saying that right, to really get clear on a specific tailored program for you and your gut health. So let's talk about some practical tips that you could do right now to implement into your daily routine to promote that better gut health, that healthy gut health, and therefore healthy mental health. The first thing that I would like to recommend is to start your morning with some lemon water. If it's cold where you live, I highly suggest having warm lemon water in the morning, especially anywhere you live. Honestly, it's best to just start your day off with a little bit of warming and not just shocking your system with some cold water. If you want the cold water, go for it. Just as long as you're getting the lemon water in. And you always want to, I'll start by saying this, you always want to consult with a healthcare practitioner before starting something new. So don't just jump into these tips thinking like, I'm going to better my gut health. Just make sure you're talking to your healthcare professional before starting. But what I would recommend is getting an organic lemon, cutting it up in the morning and starting with a quarter of that organic lemon and squeezing the juice into your warm water. Add a little bit of that Celtic salt or Redmond salt, like maybe just a few crystals, and enjoy it first thing in the morning after you brush your teeth. And then you wait about 20 minutes before you consume food or another beverage. This is a simple habit that can promote digestion, get you hydrated, support your liver, maybe promote a bowel movement, which is great for detoxification first thing in the morning, stimulate digestion, which is therefore just going to is going to set a positive tone for the day. Add fermented foods. I'm loving sauerkraut. I know I can do this and I tend to do this in my life. I'll be like, oh my God, I love this thing so much, blah, blah, blah. And the person, like specifically Tori, my lover, he'll try it and he'll be like, it's not that good. And I'm just like obsessing over it. So I might be selling this really hard and you might try fermented foods and think it's the literal shit. And that's okay. Plug your nose and do it anyways. So if you have never had fermented foods before, implement it slowly. Try maybe a quarter of a teaspoon, few little shreds of the fermented sauerkraut and start slow. If you are someone that has had fermented foods in your diet before, I would go up to a tablespoon at least one meal during the day just to support that gut health. Move your body daily. That is a great tip. Move your body daily. Exercise will support your gut motility, get everything moving nice in there. It can help regulate your stress hormones. And this is both beneficial for your gut health and your mental health. And then create a relaxing evening routine. Some suggestions would be to wind down your day or evening with things such as reading, journaling, gentle yoga, guided meditation, or anything along those lines that is going to promote that restful night's sleep. Getting off devices is a really good one, at least 20 minutes before you plan to go to bed. I would suggest an hour. So when you turn your devices off, maybe light some candles, put on a YouTube yoga video or guided meditation, or pull out the book that you have had on your shelf or in your, put away for a while and read 10 pages of it. You are going to be tired eventually and you'll get to fall asleep without just doom scrolling on your devices. So as you can tell from this episode, your gut and your brain are deeply connected. So therefore, small changes towards your gut can make very amazing changes to your mental health. You can think of your gut as your foundation of your overall well-being. When it's in balance, you are more likely to feel energized, motivated, focused, and emotionally resilient. I really, really, really want you to remember that healing takes time. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small wins. I would highly recommend starting a notepad in your phone and putting down what it is that you're doing, whether that is practicing stress management, it's eating a whole food meal, unprocessed, it is adding that fermented food, it's starting your morning with lemon water, whatever it is, just make sure you're creating a list in your phone, because as humans, we just tend to forget what we're doing and celebrate the small wins. And so when you go back, you can look at that and just celebrate yourself for actually doing these things, which in turn will promote your health, your gut health, and it will in turn promote your mental health and your overall well-being. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the powerful connection between your gut and your mental health. I really hope that you're leaving with some actionable steps that you can take towards promoting better gut health and therefore better mental health. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I have the ultimate guide to your optimal gut health, and that is available. I will link it in the show notes. For the first 7 days, when you're listening to this podcast, it started on January 6th. You get it for 50% off, so snag it while you can. And if not, you'll get it at the full price whenever you feel called to. If you found this episode helpful, please, please, please share it with a friend or a family member or someone that you think that would benefit from listening to what I had to share today. Make sure that you are subscribed to whatever platform you love to listen to podcasts on. And I am so grateful that you spent the last, 30-ish minutes with me and listening to this. And yeah, you'll just in turn, whether or not you start implementing these things right away or taking one small thing or just marinating in it, you have continued one step forward on your health and wellness journey to promote better gut health and mental health. Until next time, take care of your gut, your mental health, and your whole body health. I will see you in next week's episode. I hope you have a wonderful week, and see you soon.